All right. So have your feet firmly on the floor, just kind of grounded, knees about hips width apart, be sitting on top of your sit bones, shoulders aligned with the hips, and then try and align the ears with the shoulders. And imagine your spine is a string of pearls of light stretching from the base all the way up through the crown of the head and beyond. Just imagine lengthening your spine. Putting some space in between the vertebrae. Take a nice deep breath. And then bring your awareness to the crown of the head and just relax the scalp. Just relax the forehead, the eyes, the nose, the cheeks, the mouth, the temples, the jaw, back of the tongue. Relax the back of the head, back of the neck. Allow the shoulders and the shoulder blades to drop down. Relax the throat, the chest, and the belly, and all of your limbs. Trying to bring some softness into the limbs, some softness into your face, into your hands, and even into your feet and your toes. Just check, how active are your toes tonight? For me, it's generally quite difficult for me to relax my toes. And be aware of any sounds in your environment. And just notice that the point at which you get distracted by sound. Even the kind of like the tiniest distraction. And then just bring the mind back. And then notice the thoughts that are arising. Could be based on something that's happened today. And try and put some space in between your thoughts. And just allow them to arise and to abide. And to float away. And then you can bring to mind all people of your life, loved ones. Loved ones range from just friendly acquaintances to people who have this deep and profound effect on our lives. And then there's our strangers. And then there's all those people we don't like so much. It might be threatening or somehow irritating, or maybe they've harmed in some way. And remember, though, that these people can change place at any time. These relationships can shift and change, ebb and flow. And they're all equal. They all wish to be happy, and they all wish to be free from suffering, and they all have amazing capacity for Buddhahood. So we'll do this meditation this evening for all these people of our life, and by extension, for all sentient beings. So think there is no negativity that cannot be purified, and this purification process is basically a psychological one. We create negativity with our mind. And so we can change it by creating positivity instead. And so we start with the power of regret. So we sincerely regret from the depths of your heart anything you have done to harm any living being on this day, in this life, and in all of our past lives. And then think of specific actions of both your body and your speech. And then in general, regret all. And the reason to regret is based on this logic of karma. We experience everything due to our past karma, our past actions. And so having harmed others, we ourselves will necessarily experience suffering in the future. And we cannot bear the thought of the future suffering that we ourselves will experience. We know from the present suffering we don't want any more. And so logically, it makes sense to remove the karmic seeds before they ripen as future suffering for us. So think like this. I regret from the depths of my heart having harmed others with my body and my speech, having broken my vows, because I do not want the future suffering. I'm sick of suffering. And also regret any anger, attachment, and the rest that are the cause of why we harm others. And then think again, I'm sick of this suffering. And then think, what can I do about it? Whom can I turn to? So we come to the power of reliance. This has two sections, refuge and developing compassion. So we turn to the Buddha Vajrasattva, who we see as a doctor rather than a higher power, or, just someone who has the methods that we can use to sort of heal ourselves, to take care of all of our negativities. So you can imagine this beautiful Buddha, this, like emanating light, radiating white light above the crown of your head. You can also imagine this is a teacher manifesting in this form for your benefit. He's made of radiant, blissful white light, sitting cross-legged on a white lotus and a moon cushion. And we have this, he has a beautiful radiant face. His eyes are long and peaceful and full of love and compassion for you and all those people of your life. He has a sweet red mouth. His hair is black and held up in a top knot. His arms are crossed at his heart, the left underneath the right. The left is holding a bell representing wisdom, and the right is holding a vajra, which represents the indestructibility of compassion. And their being crossed represents the union of these two. And this symbolizes enlightenment itself, the development of infinite wisdom and infinite compassion. To the Buddha, the Dharma, and the Sangha, I go for refuge until I'm enlightened. By this practice of meditating on Guru Vajrasattva, may I reach Buddhahood so as to benefit all sentient beings. So now I just think about developing compassion. So in order to develop compassion, we need to rely upon other beings and the very beings we have harmed and those who have harmed us by developing compassion for them, developing a wish for them to be free from suffering. So think of someone you may have harmed recently and in the past, and then in general, all beings we have ever harmed since beginning this time, and then remember those who have harmed you, and we have compassion for them because they're going to suffer as a result of the harm they've done to you. So make a strong aspiration to do this practice of purification for the sake of all these beings, and think, I must purify for their sake. And now we come to the power of the remedy, and this is the actual practice of purification. This is the medicine. So we start with the body, and Vajrasattva very compassionately sends a powerful white nectar, like coming out of a hose, quite forcefully from his heart, and it arcs around and enters your crown and pours into your entire body, filling you completely. And it keeps pouring into you until it forces out of your lower orifices all the harm you've ever done to any living being with your body in the form of inky liquid. And this pours out of you and disappears into space, not one atom left as we recite the mantra. Om Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dida Meboa Sutokaya Meboa Supokaya Meboa Anarakta Meboa Sawasiti Mimpi Yatsa Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuru Hum Ha 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 Ho Bhagawan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva A Hum Pe Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dida Meboa Sutokaya Meboa Supokaya Meboa Anarakta me boa sawa sidi mimpi yatsa sawa kama sita me sitam shriam kuru hum ha 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 ho bhagavan sawa tata gata vajra mame mutta vajra bawa mahasamaya sata a hum pe vajra safa samayam manupalaya vajra safa dina patita dida me boa sitokayu me boa sipokayu me boa Anarakta me boa sawa sidi mimpi yatsa sawa kama sita me sitam shriam kuru hum ha 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 ho bhagavan Sawa tata gata vajra mame mutta vajra bhava mahasamaya satra a humpe. Vajra sapa samaya manupalaya vajra sapa dina patita. Dira me bawa sitokaya me bawa sipokaya me bawa anarakta me bawa sawa siddhi mimpi yatsa sawa kama sita me. Sitam shriyam kuru hum ha 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 ho bhagavan. Sawa tata gata vajra mame mutta vajra bhava mahasamaya satra a humpe. Vajrasapa samaya manupalaya vajrasapa dina patita dida me boa sitokaya me boa sipokaya me boa anarakta me boa sawasidi me piyatsa sawa kama sita me sitam shriyam kuru hum ha 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 ho bhagavan sawa tata gata vajrama me mutta vajra bawa mahasamaya sata a humpe vajrasapa samaya manupalaya vajrasapa dina patita dida me boa sitokaya me boa sipokaya me boa Anarakta me bawa sawa sidi mimpi yatsa sawa kama sita me sitam shriyam kuru hum ha 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 ho bhagavan sawa tata gata vajra mame mutta vajra bawa mahasamaya sata a hum pe vajra safa samaya manupalaya vajra safa dina patita dida me bawa sitokaya me bawa sipokaya me bawa anarakta me bawa sawa sidi mimpi yatsa sawa kama sita me sitam shriyam kuru hum ha 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 ho bhagavan Sawa tata gata vajra mame mutta vajra bawa mahasamaya satra a hum pe. So be delighted that all the harm you've ever done to any sentient being with your body is now completely purified and think there's no way you could do anything but benefit others now with your body. And now we come to the purification of our speech. And Vajrasattva very happily sends powerful nectar from his heart chakra, and it arcs around and quite forcefully enters your crown and fills your entire body, except this time forcing up to the top of your body all the negativity of your speech, and this overflows and disappears into space, not one atom left. So just imagine all the gossip and the harsh speech and the useless speech and lying and talking badly about others behind their backs, getting other people to agree with you, all our inappropriate speech, all those times we blurt out things and we kind of wish we hadn't said that. And this, this speech that kind of lacks power. Whatever you say, people don't necessarily believe you. So imagine all of this purified by this powerful nectar filling you as we recite the mantra. Om Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dida Meboa Sitokaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anarakta Meboa Sawasidi Mempi Yatsa Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuru Hum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajrama Mutta Vajra Bawa Mahasamaya Satra A Hum Pe Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dida Meboa Sitokaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anarakta me bawa sawa sidi mimpi yatsa sawa kama sita me sitam shriyam kuru hum ha ha ho bhagavan sawa tata gata vajra mame mutta vajra bawa mahasamaya satra a hum pe vajra safa samaya manupalaya vajra safa dina patita dida me bawa sitokaya me bawa sipokaya me bawa anarakta me bawa sawa sidi mimpi yatsa sawa kama sita me sitam shriyam kuru hum ha ha ho bhagavan Sawa tata gata vajra mame mutta vajra bawa mahasamaya satra a hum pe vajra safa samaya manupalaya vajra safa dina patita dida me bawa sitokaya me bawa sipokaya me bawa anarakta me bawa sawa sidi mimpi yatsa sawa kama sita me sitam shriyam kuru hum ha 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 ho bhagavan sawa tata gata vajra mame mutta vajra bawa mahasamaya satra a hum pe Vajrasattva samaya manupalaya Vajrasattva dina patita dida me bawa sitokaya me bawa sipokaya me bawa anarakta me bawa sawa sidi mimpi yatsa sawa kama sita me Sitam Shriyam Kuru Hum Ha Ho Bhagavan Sawatata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva Aham Pe Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dinapatita Dida Meboa Sutokaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anurakta Meboa Sawasidi Mimpiyatsa Sawakama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuru Hum Ha Ho Bhagavan Sawatata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva Aham Pe Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dinapatita Dida Meboa Sutokaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anurakta Meboa Sawasidi Mimpiyatsa Sawakama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuru Hum Ha Ho Bhagavan Sawatata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva Aham Pe. Again, feel so happy that your speech is now completely purified, and imagine it's not possible to do anything but benefit others now with your speech. And the next is the purification of the mind, and Vajrasattva very compassionately sends powerful beams of light from his heart chakra, and this arcs around and enters your crown and fills your entire being. So, as we always say, that you just imagine you're walking into a pitch black room and you flick on that switch, and the light in the room instantly dispels the darkness. So the same, you can imagine the light from Vajrasattva's heart hits your heart chakra, and all the darkness of the negativity of your mind. So all the attachment and neediness, bitterness and anger and depression, aggression, resentment, jealousy, grudges, all of this instantly dispelled. Not one atom left as we recite the mantra. Om Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dinapatita Dida Meboa Sutokaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anurakta Meboa Sawasidi Mimpiyatsa Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuru Hum Ha Ho Bhagavan Sawatata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva Aham Pe Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dinapatita Dida Meboa Sutokaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anurakta Meboa Sawasidi Mimpiyatsa Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuru Hum Ha Ho Bhagavan Sawatata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva Aham Pe Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dinapatita Dida Meboa Sutokaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anurakta Meboa Sawasidi Mimpiyatsa Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuru Hum Ha Ho Bhagavan Sawatata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva Aham Pe Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dinapatita Dida Meboa Sutokaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anurakta Meboa Sawasidi Mimpiyatsa Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuru Hum Ha Ho Bhagavan Sawatata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva Aham Pe Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dinapatita Dida Meboa Sutokaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anurakta Meboa Sawasidi Mimpiyatsa Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuru Hum Ha Ho Bhagavan Sawatata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva Aham Pe Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dinapatita Dida Meboa Sutokaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anurakta Meboa Sawasidi Mimpiyatsa Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuru Hum Ha Ho Bhagavan Sawatata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva Aham Pe Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dinapatita Dida Meboa Sutokaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anurakta Meboa Sawasidi Mimpiyatsa Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuru Hum Ha Ho Bhagavan Sawatata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva Aham Pe. So again, be delighted that all your delusions, which are the source of all of our own suffering and the cause of why we harm others with our body and our speech, are completely purified. Just imagine they're all gone, and think now that there's no space in your heart for anything other than love and kindness and forgiveness and wisdom and bliss and compassion. And next is the purification of even the imprints of negativity of the body, speech, and mind. And you can imagine this time Vajrasattva sending light and nectar, and it fills you completely. and eradicates even the subtlest imprints of these negative energy. So it's really working at a very subtle level here. Om Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dinapatita Dida Meboa Sitokaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anarakta Meboa Sawasidi Mimpiyatsa Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shiyam Kuruhum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawatata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sata Ahompe Om Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dinapatita Dida Meboa Sitokaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anarakta meboa sawasidi mipiyatsa sawa kama sita me sitam shriyam kuruhum ha 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 ho bhagavan sawa tata gata vajramami mutta vajrabawa mahasamaya sata ahompe vajrasappa samaya manupalaya vajrasappa dina patita dida meboa situkaya meboa sipokaya meboa Anarakta meboa sawasidi mipiyatsa sawa kama sita me sitam shriyam kuruhum ha 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 ho bhagavan Sawa tata gata vajramami mutta vajrabawa mahasamaya sata ahompe vajrasapta samaya manupalaya vajrasappa dina patita dida meboa sitokaya meboa sipokaya meboa Anarakta meboa sawasidi mimpiyatsa sawa kama sita me sitam shriyam kuruhum ha 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 ho bhagavan sawa tata gata vajramami mutta vajrabawa mahasamaya sata ahompe Vajrasappa samaya manupalaya vajrasappa dina patita dida meboa sitokaya meboa sipokaya meboa anarakta meboa sawasidi mimpiyatsa sawa kama sita me sitam shriyam kuruhum ha 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 ho bhagavan sawa tata gata vajramami mutta vajrabawa mahasamaya sata ahompe vajrasappa samaya manupalaya vajrasappa dina patita dida meboa sitokaya meboa sipokaya meboa Anarakta meboa sawasidi mimpiyatsa sawa kama sita me sitam shriyam kuruhum ha 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 ho bhagavan sawa tata gata vajramami mutta vajrabawa mahasamaya sata ahompe vajrasappa samaya manupalaya vajrasappa dina patita dida meboa sitokaya meboa sipokaya meboa Anarakta meboa sawasidi mimpiyatsa sawa kama sita me sitam shriyam kuruhum ha 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 ho bhagavan Sawa tata gata vajramami mutta vajrabawa mahasamaya sattva ahom. So now feel you're completely purified. There's not one atom of negativity left in your mind stream. Even the subtlest obscurations to your enlightenment have been removed. So really imagine that. Imagine what your mind stream would look like. And imagine you're already there. Now the power of resolve, and this is the fourth and final step in the purification process. It's a really crucial step, this one. And we have to, because we're going to make a decision, we make a determination to not harm with our body and our speech and our mind. And without this, we keep doing the same old things over and over again. We've got habits from this life, habits from past seeds that we've planted. Sort of without making a decision to think about, even just think about refraining from harming, we're going to keep doing the same old thing over and over again. Because you could be in the middle of doing that thing and going, actually, I don't really want to do this. But you're still doing it. And then maybe next time you go to do that thing, and then you are able to refrain from it. And then the next time you think about doing that thing, and then you decide not to. So it could be a several step process for all of us. Rinpoche used to say everything exists on the tip of the wish, the wishes, he used to say, the aspiration. So think carefully about something that you would like to decide to refrain from. Anything. It could be continual habitual storytelling to yourself. sort of constantly going off down one track where it probably doesn't even have any basis in reality. I think you'd like to refrain from it and give yourself a little timeline. Maybe you can think, well, okay, tomorrow I'm going to work on this, and then I'll just keep myself in check. And periodically I'll just think about it for 30 seconds while you're standing in the line, the grocery line, or if you're waiting for something on the stove or some public transport. And this determination to not do again is what gives us some kind of strength, some kind of, strength to not do again. And imagine Vajrasattva's delighted with us and wanting to merge with your mind, melts into white light and absorbs into you through your crown. And think, my teacher's body, speech, and mind, the Vajrasattva's body, speech, and mind, and my own body, speech, and mind are the same. And next, Rinpoche would recommend to meditate on the emptiness of the three circles. In emptiness, there is no I, the creator of negative karma. There is no action of creating negative karma, and there is no negative karma created. So at whatever level you understand emptiness, you just place your mind there for a moment. In this way, we can think of all phenomena as being empty. They do not exist from their own side. You can also think that the way things appear to me may not necessarily be the way they actually exist. So let's just dedicate all the merit, all the positive energy you've created by doing this practice to all living beings, and think, may all the virtuous karma I've created from doing this practice ripen as my enlightenment for the sake of sentient beings as quickly as possible. Then think for His Holiness the Dalai Lama to live long and to continue to be able to keep teaching. And then for all, for Lama Zopa Rinpoche's reincarnation to swiftly return. And then for all your own personal teachers, just make a strong wish for them to live long. All right, everybody. Thank you so much, people and pets. Lots of love. And maybe I'll see some of you tomorrow morning. Maybe I won't.